Hey, my fans, I'm Michelle Joy Phelps, and I am joined now with 19-year-old amateur standout, Tito Mercado. Tito, thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking to me about your life, your career, your inspirations. First and foremost, how are you?
I'm doing good in yourself, and thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, I'm well. It feels like Sunday today. I don't know why. I just kept waking up thinking it was Sunday, and I'm like, oh my God, did I miss the interview?
No. It does kind of feel like a Sunday. I think maybe because of the weather and stuff, it feels more like lazy days, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, let's jump right into it. You are an amateur who was at one point considering turning pro this year, but you changed your mind because you have your goals set on the Olympics in 2021. Tell me what it was about that made you want to stay an amateur as opposed to turning pro.
Honestly, there were just a lot of things falling off for me. Due to COVID, a lot of the opponents were falling off, and things weren't going our way. And we're getting word from Nicaragua. That's a country that I'm gonna be fighting for.
Mm-hmm.
That there might be some hope for the Olympics still. So with all that being said, we thought maybe that was just a sign that we should wait for the Olympics, and that's what we decided to do. And honestly, I feel very confident about the decision that we made because it looks like it's about to be for sure this time. There's a lot of more certainty, a lot of more. It looked like they're about to do procedures for the bubble and all that. So I'm honestly a lot more confident than I was last year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because given how it seems like every few weeks or every month, something's always changing. Now there's some sort of new variant out there, so or strain. So does that concern you a bit? Is there a little bit of a worry that we might possibly see a repeat of 2020?
No, I'm just looking every day. I'm living in the present. I'm not trying to worry too much about the future. I'm just trying to get prepared 100%. Like the Olympics are gonna happen. When you think positive, usually positive things happen.
Mm-hmm. I like that. So another thing that I've read was that one of the aims was also if you win gold, it adds just that much more value to you when you sign with a promoter one day. You've talked a bit about the possibilities of signing with promotional companies. I've heard Top Rank, I've heard Golden Boy. What promoter stands out to you the most and why?
Honestly, I don't have no preference. I think they're all great promoters. Whatever is the most beneficial to me and my team. Most likely, obviously, that's the route I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no preference. I'm just trying to do my job, get the gold medal. That's something I've been wanting forever. So, despite adding the value, it adds value to me. It's something that I always wanted my whole life. So, I'm really going after it for my personal self.
Mm-hmm. Now, your father trains you.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of father-son dynamics in boxing. Let's tell us a bit about your dynamic with your father.
Me and my dad have a real good relationship together. Me and him are like best friends. We tell each other everything, and he understands the balance between having boxing and my free time. So I think that's where we really get along because I feel like sometimes those type of relationships, the father imposes too much boxing, and it gets the son fed up at some point in their careers. But me and my dad, we understand each other and we understand our space. So I think that's what makes us a great team. And despite that, we know what we're doing in the ring. So that definitely helps.
I was going to say, because a lot of times you do hear about these guys later on in their careers saying that, to some degree, it actually caused a conflict between the family. So I'm always curious to know how each dynamic works because it's obviously different for everyone.
Right. No, I mean, like I said, he gives me my space. When it's time, I need to go play some Xbox or go out with friends. Do what I got to do. He's always 100% supportive of that. So
Yeah.
I think that's where we really thrive.
So one of the things I love to ask people is, especially when they're just starting out or soon to be starting out with their professional careers, is what was it specifically that motivated you to want to be a fighter? Now, seeing that your father trains you tells me that your father has boxing experience. So was he a boxer himself when he was younger?
Yeah, he was an amateur boxer. He won some national tournaments and stuff like that. He never made it to the pros. A lot of things. He was real involved in the games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had me, so he never had the chance to pursue that type of career. But he was an amateur boxer, and that's something that I wanted to do it too. for in a sense as for him as well, because it's something that he did and I wanted to make him proud. But not only that, I wanted to spend time with him. So it was a way of I get both, and I really liked it. So to me it was just like how do you say it? What's that quote they say? It was two stones for one bird, something like that.
Oh yeah,
I don't
you
know.
killed two
Two birds with one stone. There you go.
I don't even know. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah. So to me, that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'd like to know sort of what was that aha moment for you? A father can inspire their child. Every father sort of wants their child to do something. It could be football, soccer, be a doctor, a dentist, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the child wants to do. So what was it for you? What was that moment like for you when you realized, oh my God, I want to do this?
That's a hard one, because there was a lot of moments in my life where I thought that it was the moment, but I think sometimes I was a little too young. So not until I was about 16 where I was winning tournaments consecutively, and I was really enjoying it a lot. More from like a competitive standpoint. I love competing and I love to win. So that's when that's when it really hit me, when I was a little older.
Now you're young, so you haven't really quite been out there to experience life as other adults in their 20s and 30s, 40s, and so on. But what is it that you can pull from your experience being, from childhood, teenage years? What is it that motivates you and keeps you sort of on the straight and narrow and still ambitious and determined to achieve your goals?
Honestly, a big part of it is my family. They support me 100%, and they sacrifice a lot for me to get here to this point. So they definitely, motivate me to keep going and to, stay in the right path for them, for their sake. And despite that, I have my own personal goals that I want to achieve, in life and in boxing. So I definitely keep myself in a straight path because, in order to complete those things, I got to be in a straight path to do those.
Mm-hmm. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to compete at 138 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
They changed the weight classes last year. It was supposed to be 132, but yeah, they changed it to 138.
Okay. Tell us a bit about what your style's like for people who have yet to hear of you or see any footage on your amateur career.
My style is I like to box. I feel like I have a mixture of like a little bit of Roy Jones with like Naseem Hamed. I like to entertain and I like to throw punches from weird angles. So, I'm definitely a boxer, but I definitely like to entertain the crowd and I throw a lot of punches. And I attained the styles from more, back then from the 90s and 80s more than I do so from now.
Would you call yourself a talker? Like when you're about to go, like get into the ring, do you like to sort of get into your opponent's head a little bit?
No, honestly, I never I just go in there and do my job. But, for some reason, I have that type of style where I get, opponents frustrated and they get mad at me. They try to, come at me for no reason. But, I just go in there and do my job. And I guess, a lot of fighters, say that I do those type of stuff, but, I never pay too much attention to it.
Oh, so people say that you talk crap to them, or?
Yeah, and they feel like the movements I do in the ring, they feel like I'm mocking them or doing gestures, and I never do that. I just go there and do my job.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about your sparring history and who you've shared the ring with. We know that you have shared the ring with Chocolatito.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? I mean, he has always been on many of people's pound for pound lists.
Honestly, the first time I sparred him was in Nicaragua, actually, in his gym. And he had all the Nicaragua people there, so it was definitely like I got a little nervous. I mean, he was one of the best pound for pound fighters. So, but he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot inside the ring. He's very, very friendly with me. But I saw a lot of things that he does. When it comes to his footwork, his technique, the way he goes down to the body, it's all perfect. Mm-hmm. So when I was in there, it was more like, obviously we're both trying to rip each other's heads off, but I was right there learning and picking things off from him. And he's such a great person. We sparred a couple other times after that, and he just keeps teaching me and teaching me. So I'm definitely grateful for him about that.
Who else have you sparred with that we might know of?
I sparred, a lot of contenders like Adam Lopez, Azat. I don't know to say his last name. He's from Armenia. And,
I
just
know
a
what
lot of,
you're talking about. His last name's really long.
yeah. So I fought a lot of contenders, at Wildcard Gym, Robert Garcia's gym. So they definitely give me a lot of work and, preparing me for, these type of moments in the Olympics. So I'm definitely excited.
You've also been in the Wildcard Gym. Have you ever, received any sort of advice or criticism from, oh my God, I can't think right now. Freddie Roach. Sorry, was it Freddie Roach?
Yeah, he actually did. He said that he would give me advice, but he said that he feels like I'm already doing everything right, so keep doing what I'm doing.
Oh,
So
that's
that,
nice.
so that's definitely, coming from Freddie Roach, that's a really good advice, and just that motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing with my dad, and just working hard and trying to, beat the odds.
Mm-hmm. You're 19. You still have a lot of life to live. How do you keep yourself from feeling like you're getting, FOMO, fear of missing out? You want to be out there like everyone else your age, doing what every other guy your age is doing. Do you, or how do you sort of balance that without feeling like you're missing out on your youth?
Honestly, it's just like I said, the competitive drive I have in me. I know that there's certain sacrifices I have to make, in order to achieve my goals. So if I have to, maybe not hang out with friends for, a while I'm training or stuff like that, I'm willing to, take that to make sure that I'm 100% going into the tournaments and stuff like that. So, obviously it's a bit challenging, at times I want to do things, but I know that it's for the greater cause that I, remain dedicated and, disciplined to my game. After I'm done with all this, I could go out and do that whenever I want.
Yeah. Are you naturally slim, or do you have to worry about your weight and sort of give up certain things?
No, I used to be fat as a baby, but now I'm naturally slim now. But I do have a sweet tooth, so I do eat, some things, but when I'm in training camp, I try to stick to my diet, but I'm naturally slim. I don't really have to do nothing to, I'm not worried about getting a little belly or nothing like that.
Exactly. You're very, very lucky for that. A lot of people have to sacrifice so much to stay within their weight. But another thing is, who are your inspirations when you were growing up studying tape? Who were the people that you studied the most?
Has to be between Sugar Ray Leonard and Roy Jones a lot.
Mm.
And Sugar Ray Leonard was just a personal favorite of mine, and I think the Roy Jones, obviously besides being a great fighter, he had his father working with him, and although they didn't really see eye to eye, that still intrigued me, and I like the way they worked in the beginning of their careers, and he's just a great fighter, and they both have gold medals, so that's something that I'm trying to achieve as well, and hopefully one day be named along them as well.
Tell me a prospect that you could spot now that there's a chance that you guys might see each other in the ring later on in your careers.
Oh, that's a hard one. A prospect right now. Ooh. And you put me in a tough one right now. You put me in a tough one.
Well, because now we see a lot of these guys are like, oh yeah, I beat him in the amateurs, or we missed each other in the amateurs, but we always had our eyes on each other. So I'm wondering if there's anyone that stands out for you.
As of right now, no, but there's a lot of, the world champions right now in the lightweight division that I feel like still might be there, in the likes of, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. I feel like I'm eventually one day meet them. I've been at 135 for a while, so I feel like they'll still be there by next year, for sure. And hopefully I'm able to share the ring with them, because I definitely want those names on my list.
Between Garcia, Haney, Tank, and Teofimo, who would you say is the best?
I think Teofimo is, but I feel like he looks a lot bigger than the rest of them, so I don't feel like he's going to be in that weight class for too much longer. So that's why I feel like I might not get to him right away. I think he's going to move up, especially by the time that, I reach up to those fights and stuff like that. But I feel like out of them three, excluding Teofimo, I think probably Ryan Garcia is the best one, in my opinion.
Speaking from a prospect and looking at the champions, right?
Uh-huh.
Tell me who you see today that you would face that you could beat. Now, the reason I ask this is because, for example, Tyson Fury said that when he started going into camp, I mean, he's just a prospect, he was in Klitschko's camp or around Klitschko, but he always said, I'm going to fight this guy and I'm going to beat him. So is there anyone like that that you could think of for you?
In my division right now, or in any division?
Well, in your, yeah, ideally your division, or, you know, even above or below. I mean, it depends on.
That's a hard one because, you know, I'm a competitive person, so I see myself beating all the fighters. But I think probably one of the first ones that I may be able to, fight first is probably Devin Haney. I think I see myself doing really good against him. He's a great fighter, but styles make fights, and I feel like my style is very suitable for against him.
It's exciting. I love the fact that I'm meeting you at the very start of everything for you, because we could very well see what can happen. I mean, I've interviewed guys, I've been doing this nearly 10 years, and I mean, I've seen Errol Spence go from a prospect to a champion. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And just like, it's really cool to witness and see someone's journey sort of unfold right before you. Yeah. So, lastly, who would you sort of say is your favorite fighter today? Do you have a favorite fighter?
Oh, a favorite fighter right now? Honestly, I really don't. There's a lot of fighters that I like, like Terrence Crawford. I like Teofimo Lopez, for the risk that he takes inside the ring, especially against Loma. But I don't really have a favorite fighter right now. Most of the fighters that I really look up to and are my favorites are from the 90s and 80s, in my taste. But there's a lot of great fighters right now. I feel like too many fighters in this generation try to imitate too many styles, and that's why I feel like they can't be my favorites. That's in my opinion. And back then there was a lot of variety of styles, everybody trying to be themselves, and that's what really stood out to me. And I wish I was born in that generation, so I was able to fight those type of dudes over there. But it's all good.
This is your guys' time now to sort of show or leave your own legacies, like you're saying, just be yourself and make your own mark, right?
Right, exactly.
So before we wrap up, what fight are you most excited to see in 2021?
It's for sure not the Manny Pacquiao Ryan Garcia one.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Because I mean, we're hearing on some reports that it's an exhibition fight, which I'm a little confused about because both are still active fighters. But then some other people are saying it's going to be actually a sanctioned fight. So what do you make of it?
I think it's all for clout, in my opinion. I definitely don't think it's going to be a real fight. That would be, real foolish of Ryan Garcia to take something like that. I wouldn't. That, to me, is not a good, business standpoint for him. Manny Pacquiao still, even though he's 43 years old, I believe, he's still a dangerous fighter. I mean, we saw what he did to young fighters like Keith Thurman and stuff like that, which are way bigger than Ryan Garcia's. So I feel like that'd just be a dumb fight for Ryan Garcia to take. But, he's doing it for clout, social media, and it's going to definitely, boost the audience for boxing, I think, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's good in a way, but for boxing, boxing fans like myself, I find it to be, a little like a out of reach, I guess you could say.
For your own career, do you see yourself being, and I say this with all due respect to the guys who do this, do you see yourself being sort of the boastful, really confident, almost cocky, sort of pretty boy Floyd-ish, or are you more of like the silent assassin?
I don't know. It's like it's a mixture of both, I think. I don't definitely like to, boast. I don't like to talk about myself or put other people down, but I feel like a lot of people might, mistranslate me when I say this type of things, because in the ring, a lot of people think that I'm that type of way, boastful, stuff like that. When it's just my style, I'm just a flashy type of person. I like to look flashy and like to look good. And I like to entertain the fans. Obviously, if they're spending their time, to watch me, I got to give it my all for them. So, a lot of times people might mistranslate me. People, I might say that, and then, people in the comments might say that, oh, no, he does do that. But that's just the style I have. But as a person, I'm very calm. I'm very chill. So I don't, to answer your question, I say no.
Well, because, oftentimes you sort of have to fall into a category. There's the guys who are the quiet and respectful gentleman types, and then there's the villains that
Right.
people love to hate. But I mean, like, look at Teofimo right now. A lot of people criticize him for being very confident, but anyone who's been following Teo's career before he got the Lomachenko shot, he's been saying for years and years, I'm going to beat that guy. I'm going to beat that guy. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. And it can rub some people some type of way. I personally love it because I feel like no great athlete, I'm talking about all the way up to Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, none of them were, we'll see what happens. They're like, no, I'm the best, and that's what it is. And so I feel like in order to be the best, you truly have to believe and say and speak it into existence. So I like to kind of gauge where people are on that, because a lot of times people feel like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm boastful, but at the same time, I mean, if you're the best, aren't you?
Right. No, and I definitely agree with what you're saying. And as my journey unfolds, I might end up becoming a villain one day. But if I do, I'm definitely become the best one in the boxing game, because I feel like there's a lot of perpetrators in this one. I feel like a lot of them, including Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, even to film a little bit. I feel like when they talk smack, I don't feel like it's really natural. It's just for show. And I feel like if you got to do it, I got to be natural. And I think that's what the selling point of people that you name, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. It was natural. They weren't faking the funk. So, who knows, one day I might become the villain, but if I do, it's going to be all natural, no show.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for getting on with me this morning. And I wish you nothing but the best, and I look forward to following your career into the 2021 Olympics, representing your father's home country of Nicaragua. Before we wrap, actually, can I get your prediction on Chocolatito's upcoming fight against Estrada?
I've seen a lot of improvement from Estrada. He's doing really good. Chocolatito, he's doing great too. His last fight, he looked good. I'm always gonna go for Chocolatito. He's one of my best friends. So, but I see it being a close fight though. I do see it being a close fight. I see, like I said, Estrada a lot of improvement, a lot of more footwork, and he's adding a lot of punches to his arsenal. So it's gonna be definitely a tough fight, but I feel Chocolatito, with his experience and stuff like that, he's gonna edge it out.
All right. Well, Tito, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we can get an interview with you either just before you go into the Olympics or just after. We wish you nothing but the best. May you come out with gold.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well.
All right. Have a good one.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else